Get this out of the way, because I don't want to dwell on this too long. I don't like looking at Ben Shapiro. Okay, so Ben Shapiro recently did a video where he went and he tried to interact with human children. He doesn't relate very well to human adults, so I don't know how well this is gonna go, but let's check it out.
So here we are today at a public library, and I know what you're thinking. Ben, haven't you read all the books there already? Of course I have, but that's not why we're here. My producers have given me
A public library, Ben? That sounds like a socialist thing to me. I want a private library. I want Jeff Bezos to have the only library, and only people who pay him can come and sit in there. Ender92, thanks for 20 months, says, 20 months, glad to be part of a community which has allowed me and others to be who we are and explore themselves in a healthy, supportive environment. Love you, Hannah. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're part of the community, too.
stack of cards. They have a bunch of terms on them having to do with the government. I have to explain these to very, very small children in a fashion that kids can understand. So we'll find out how this is going to go. This video is sponsored by our friends over at Conservakids.
Oh, God. What the hell? Can we not indoctrinate our children, please? This is not okay. These people have the gall to be like, but sometimes in some libraries they've had people in drag come in and read stories. And meanwhile, Ben Shapiro's like, I'm about to teach your kids that taxation is theft. Good lord. Artemis8192 says, I started playing GTA Online. I'm RPing as a failed crypto bro. Explains the severe lack of empathy really well. Fun.
Hey guys, how's it going? Wow, you're very well-behaved children.
Hello, I am Ben Shapiro. You are children, and I have been led to believe in movies that you will be very rowdy, but you do not appear to be. Interesting. I will now take a seat.
All right, so I'm supposed to teach you about things today, so get ready.
Yay?
Yay?
I've seen my mom look at him on Facebook.
Oh, God, no.
She said he was a very smart guy.
Do you think he is?
Well, now that I've met him, maybe.
Freedom. Okay, freedom.
Definition?
Oh yeah, give me a definition, go for it.
America.
Definition of freedom is
These poor children. Oh, no. America is freedom. Gotta get them young. Gotta get that word association going, otherwise you have to actually teach them about issues when they're older. And then if they learn about the actual issues, then why would they follow Republicans who want to do everything in their power to harm them?
America. Okay, that's actually, okay, I kind of like that. I'm with you. America. Okay, so.
America.
Freedom is not the ability.
Procagam says, $100 says every single child here is a paid actor. I don't know if they got paid, but their parents are obviously Ben Shapiro fans. Because the one kid said, my mom watches him on Facebook. He probably sent out a thing from the Daily Wire that said, like, hey, if you are a fan of the Daily Wire and you have children this age to this age in this area, bring them, or send an application, and then maybe your kid will meet Ben Shapiro, and you can come meet Ben Shapiro, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if they're paid or not. They probably aren't. Either way, they're kids. They're just kids with right-wing Ben Shapiro parents.
Ability to do whatever you want. Freedom is the ability to make good choices and have those pay off. A lot of people kind of think
Freedom is the ability of your employer to ensure that you can't get Plan B because they have personal religious feelings that somehow impact what your doctor is allowed to do for you. Yay, freedom! Freedom is getting cancer and dying in the wealthiest country in the world because you can't make a copay. Yay, freedom!
think that freedom is you get to do what you want. So if you want to run into a tree, that's freedom.
Eat.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't eat people like that. You don't have freedom to eat people. Cannibalism is bad.
Oh wow, it's almost like there are limits to freedom, and when you just boil it down to just what is freedom, it's basically vacuous and means nothing, and you're using it strictly as a propaganda tool instead of actually talking to the children about anything substantive about how the government works, how interactions between other people in society work. Weird.
Oh, that's called.
It's called cannibalism.
My mom and dad.
All right, more Ben Shapiro explaining cannibalism to children, please. I do want that in my life.
Dad told me I was gonna meet Ben Shapiro.
And did you know who he was?
Nope.
Government. Okay, so who has an idea about government?
Procagam says, freedom is things I like. Communism is things I don't like.
Go for it.
I don't.
Government is what takes all of your money and gives you very little in return.
That is not true.
Okay, that.
Savage, kid. Fucking savage.
That's kind. I mean, it's kind of true. It depends on the kind of government.
Taxes are for.
Yeah, that is what taxes are for. But taxes are theft, children.
Oh, he did the meme. He unironically did the meme. That's unfortunate. Taxation. Oh boy. Overthought with 50 bits. I hope one of these kids is the reincarnation of Ayn Rand, so she can see what she has wrought on this world. Speedy Yoshi says, speaking of indoctrination, have you heard of the Tuttle Twins? It's a libertarian cartoon. The first episode is all about how taxes are theft and rich people will be generous without taxes. Jake watched it. It's a perfect for Chud Watch. I have it saved. We'll probably watch it, at some point for Chud Watch. Tea with Goblin says, okay, I was going to make a joke about how Ben Shapiro sounds like Johnny Depp's version of Willy Wonka, but then they actually went there with the cannibalism joke. Everything in this room is eatable. Even I am eatable, but this is called cannibalism, dear children, and is frowned upon in most cultures.
Reality is that government is necessary so that people don't hurt each other, so that people don't murder each other. Right, so people don't eat people. That's right.
Yes.
You do need a government to prevent people from eating people. The Constitution. Who knows something about the Constitution? Anybody heard of the Constitution? Anybody heard of the Constitution?
Never heard of it.
Okay, so the Constitution. Okay, the Constitution is the document that lays out the list of rules for what the government can do and what the government cannot do. So the Declaration of Independence is 1776. So right as we're founding the country, right as the founding fathers are founding the country in the Revolutionary War, we fought a war against Great Britain in 1776.
Okay, maybe you do know a lot.
What was that?
Okay, maybe you do.
The Constitution wasn't written until later. The Constitution wasn't written in 1776. What? The Constitution wasn't ratified until like 1789. What the fuck are you talking about, Ben? We had the whole Articles of Confederation before we had the Constitution. What? Hydrate.
Do know a lot. And talk fast.
Yeah, I do
Yes,
talk
very
fast.
fast.
But you guys can keep up. You're young.
I do run pretty fast.
I'm sure you do.
I run very fast.
I mean,
run super
Let me tell you, I don't worry about talking too fast with kids because my kids wipe me out. My kids tire me out. Okay, the president.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
Who knows who the
Biden.
president is right now?
Oh, God. These kids are all about to echo dumb shit their parents have said about Biden. I bet you $1 million. Procagam says, Ben literally can't stop his Gish Gallop speak even in front of children. Speedy Yoshi says, can a drag queen come in from Drag Queen Story Hour and Ben just runs out screaming in terror? That'd be beautiful.
Biden.
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
That's right.
Unfortunately, Joe Biden.
Oh, look! The kid's just repeating things they've heard their parents say. Crazy, right? Death Guard Elite says, hey, Hannah, I have some good news. My GP is willing to prescribe the meds, so in theory, I could be starting HRT in 1 to 3 months. That's awesome. Good for you.
I'm with you.
Unfortunately, Joe Biden.
Yeah, unfortunately, Joe Biden. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Trump,
Yeah.
he is the best. He was best.
This is so fucking weird because, like, I don't plan on having kids. I don't want kids. But even though I'm pretty politically, like, invested and involved, obviously I talk about this stuff relatively often. If I had children this age, I would not discuss politics with them. What? Do you think I would talk to my kids and be like, kids, you know Donald Trump is a piece of shit? Even though I believe that, why would I be trying to fucking indoctrinate my children into my political beliefs? That's insanity. Who does that?
Don't insult the president because he will come and attack you.
Whoa.
Hey now. Yeah, he's way off base about that.
Taxes. Okay, do you guys like taxes?
Taxes are fees that you have to pay for your houses.
Well, yeah, it's not, there is.
And air conditioning and solar.
Right, you have to pay taxes on like everything.
Yeah.
Like
Watches,
everything. Except
electricity.
not on your income in Florida because Florida's amazing.
Electricity.
Right, so Taxes are the government takes a part of the money that you spend, or the money that you earn, or the property value of your house.
On useless stuff. What about debt?
Mostly, yes. I mean, they're supposed to spend it on things like the police. They're not supposed to spend it on just random projects.
They don't spend it on random projects. I don't know if you forgot the part where it says to promote the general welfare. Kind of an important line in the founding of our nation. Speedy Yoshi says, as a kid, I really wanted Obama to win because I'm black and so is he. My parents were like, isn't it cool a black guy might be president? Then I had a sleepover at my great-grandparents, and her husband was watching Fox News. I don't remember it, but according to my parents, I came home being like, Obama is awful, McCain should win. I loved my great-grandpa Clarence, but he did nothing but watch Fox News 24/7. Yikes.
Or silly things that they have in their head, and they tend to spend it on kind of silly things very often. But as you get older, you will realize how little you like taxes. Taxes are very, very annoying.
I already think they're terrible.
Alrighty, let's see what else.
Yo.
Quantitative easing.
What?
Wow, who put this one in here?
What is that?
All right, are we really gonna do
Who's
this?
laughing?
We could do this. Okay,
No.
so yeah, I know. I'm with you.
Everybody's laughing.
The reason that they're laughing is because this is super duper complicated. You know what a dollar is, right? Y'all used dollars before.
Yeah.
How about Monopoly money? Have you guys ever played Monopoly?
Right?
Okay.
My mom and dad in it.
If you guys went to the store with Monopoly money, could you buy anything?
No.
No, you couldn't. Why not?
Because it's fake.
Because it's not real money. There is an agency of the federal government. It's called the Federal Reserve. Okay, the Federal Reserve controls how many dollars are out there. If they just print a bunch of dollars and then they just give you those dollars, it turns out they didn't make you rich. All that happened is that your dollar now doesn't buy as many things. If
The idea that the federal government in any way, shape, or form shouldn't have levers of control in order to try and stem issues with the economy is stupid. Ben, we learned this, like, during the Great Depression, that it's highly important to have the government being able to kind of poke their fingers into the economy in terms of cash flow, minimum reserves banks are supposed to hold on to, stuff like that, in order to ensure that if things start going off a hill, they can kind of be like, okay, can we pull this back a little, or can we at least make, if it's going to collapse, a little bit more of a controlled contraction than an outright depression, right? These are important things, and acting like they're not just makes you sound stupid. You literally are sitting in front of kids who don't know anything. I don't know why. To make you look smart against people who don't know anything? I don't know. But you just sound stupid.
if the Federal Reserve just makes $1,000 and gives it to you and gives it to everybody, you can't buy an ice cream bar with $1 anymore. Now the ice cream bar is going to cost like $1,000. Okay, that's what quantitative easing is.
Can you explain to me the
That
concept
would
of
be hyperinflation.
quantitative easing? Go.
I forgot.
So guys, you just learned more than you will in all of college about how the government works.
I don't think Ben Shapiro paid very much attention in any governmental-related class in college,
So one of the questions that
which would explain a lot.
I frequently get asked is, how do I talk to my own children about conservative values and the things that matter? And my answer is Conservakids. Conservakids brings you books like Home.
This is an ad. This isn't a paid advertisement for Conservakids. Oh, God, Ben.
Of the Brave, for example, in which they discuss things like American values and American history. They're beautifully
Some being brave means singing your name. Here are the men of the American Revolution. We call them our founding fathers. The king was a big bully named King George III. Our founders had to be brave to win their independence from the king and Great Britain because they were courageous. Today we live in the nation they founded, the United States of America. I get it's a kid's book. Doesn't really explain anything about what happened, but whatever. Let's see. Raven says, I was in Styx, Hex, and Hammer's Twitch chat earlier. He was talking about Omega males, so I kept asking him about his not to bother him. If you can get it, you get it. Or if you get it, you get it. I get Omegaverse. Speedy Ochi says, yeah, Ben, can you explain how they have a livable minimum wage in Sweden and their Big Mac is only like 25 cents more and it's not some dystopian hellhole? Bittergrin says, I mean, that's more than I learned about the government in college. Of course, I'm a theater major. That'll do it. Hats off. Nova, what would you like me to put on? If any preference. If you don't, I'll just put whatever on.
Illustrated, they're really well written, and they have values that you can feel comfortable sharing with your children, which is the most important thing. There's so many forces out there that are seeking to twist what kids think. There's so many people out there who want your kids to believe things that they really shouldn't believe, who want to take control of your child's education away from you. Not so with Conserva Kids. Conserva Kids is the way that you can teach your kids about the stuff that matters.
Conserva Kids. Conserva Kids, which is a bad name, by the way. Conserve... I can put on whatever I want. Okay. Conserva Kids. Let's see what some of their books are. Put on whatever. We'll do the horns. I don't want to cover my hair because it looks nice today. The flower crown, I think, covers it too much. I want to see all the hair because I think it came out pretty nice. Let's see. Home of the Brave, Taste of Freedom, and the Land of Opportunity. We can't see anything about it. What happened, guys? Why the long faces, Dad asked. A fish pulled my rod into the lake, Travis explained as Dad listened. The kids recounted the story of the huge fish Annie caught and the splash they heard as the fish pulled Travis down into the water, or rod into the water. Will you buy me a new rod, Dad? Travis asked. I'm sorry, bud, we just don't have the extra money right now. You can put it on your Christmas list. Christmas? That's so far away. It's only July, Travis protested. Well, you can try and make your own money if you don't want to wait. Oh god, how much does a kid's fishing rod cost? Kid's fishing rod. Like, I don't know if it was a good rod, but you can get like a kid's fishing rod for like... If you want a shitty frozen one, $12. This one's $24. This one, which looks a little more like real as like a fishing rod, $50. In the next 6 months, you can't afford to get your kid a fishing rod? Holy shit, why did you have children? We can't afford one $50 expense for my child for the next 6 months. Yikes. Brockagam says, $200, that book claims that Native Americans gave us the land. Oh, boy. Raven says, first it was cute conservatives, now it's Conserva Kids. I want the job of the do-nothing that comes up with this crap. Nick says, advocating child labor to own the libs.
Bring you all sorts of beautiful books. They have a great variety, a great selection. Check them out today at The Conserva.
Was it Styx's channel I just closed? It's around here somewhere. Why? Yeah, it's right here.
Conservakids.com/Shapiro. That's theconservakids.com/Shapiro. You get 15% off when you use code 15Ben. Again, they just make great materials. They're safe for all your kids. Not just safe, they're virtuous for you to get for your kids.
There is no full penetration in these books, kids. I have checked. It is safe for children. 0 full penetration. Sky Comet Fallen says, why did you have children? Because God commanded them to be fruitful and multiply. Consequences be damned. Hydrate. Can I play this after the vid? What is it? No, that's the opening credits to an HBO Max show. I cannot play those without being a pain in the ass for me to have to remove later. So no.
Conservakids.com/Shapiro. That's theconservakids.com/Shapiro. 15% off with code 15Ben. Okay, go for it.
What do you think about, like, superstars and athletes talking about politics?
So everybody in the country gets to talk about whatever they want to talk about, but athletes and superstars generally don't know anything about what they're talking about when it...
Neither does Ben Shapiro. Also, Ben, your party literally, elected, a person who was most famous in the last, like, 3 decades for being a reality TV star. Ben, you literally hired Gina Carano because she said right-wing things, and you didn't like that she was canceled for it. Ben, you goddamn hypocrite. Nick says, generally don't know what they're talking about equals I'm okay with celebrities talking about politics if I agree with them. Yep. Raven says, everyone go check out Benny Shabino's latest book, The Authoritarian Movement. Why won't my wife and her boyfriend let me ride the big rides, even though I'm almost tall enough? KBS666 with 11 months says, 11 months. What am I doing with my time? Apparently watching entertaining streams. Thank you.
When it comes to politics. When LeBron James says things, that doesn't mean he knows things. Yeah.
Will you ever be a president?
You know, all the presidents are now 100 years old, right? Like, Joe Biden is really, really old. Joe Biden is 79 years old. I'm 38, which to you guys seems like super old, right? No? Okay, good. That's true.
My mom's 42. My dad's 52. My dad is 48.
I'll wait until my kids are grown up. I would never run for office.
President Ben Shapiro, if that happens, I'm jumping off the flat earth. I'm done. I'm walking to Antarctica, I'm climbing the ice wall, and I'm jumping off whatever's on the other side. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done if we get President Shapiro.
While I have little kids, because I want to be home with my kids. My kids are super cute. I want to spend like a lot of time with them.
When is Ben gonna admit that he's gonna run for president?
If he wanted to be president, he would probably be it tomorrow, but he just talks about it.
Raise your hand if you want Trump to be president. That means you as well. I want you to be president.
Look at how good we've indoctrinated our children, even though they're far too young to understand complex political concepts. Yay! Good lord.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Why are the people angry at the government?
Why are people angry at the government? Because sometimes the government tells us to do stuff the government shouldn't tell us to do.
Do you think homeschooling will ever be banned?
Not in Florida.
I hope it does. Raven with 50 bits says, I'm sure in the next few years that QAnon shaman will run for office.
So I think that there will be places that try to stop homeschooling. I come from a state called California, where monsters roam the streets and garbage is strewn everywhere.
I'm trying to figure out what group he just insulted by calling them monsters. People without homes? You think it's people without homes? I'm just trying to figure out who he fucking called monsters.
It's a horror-scape. No, I'm joking. They don't actually have real monsters, but it's a really poorly, the way that they run the state is really bad. So they have lots of crime, they have high tax.
Which is why it's got the highest GDP of any state in the union. It has one of the largest economies on the planet in and of itself. Property prices are high because people want to live there.
Taxes.
Like you think there is a monster.
Right, exactly.
Procagam says, if I had a nickel for every time a former TV star was elected to the presidency as a Republican, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
I came here because Florida is amazing.
Deadman says, California threw its garbage so far that it hit Tennessee and Florida, Ben.
You're so lucky to be growing up in Florida. Florida's amazing.
America is the best, but Florida's really hot. What does the government do?
What does the government do? Okay, so there's various kinds of government. There's your local government, like where you live, and then there's the state government, like the state of Florida, and then there's the federal government. They all do different things. So your local government, they do the police and they do the firefighting. Okay, then there's the state government. The state government decides, for example, how money goes to your local public school, for example, or how taxes get paid, and how roads get made and all of that. Then there's the federal government. The federal government, the Constitution says what the federal government can do. Make sure that there's an army and a navy and an air force, and that they are able to protect us against people who would want to attack the United States.
And then whatever else they want, as long as it gets passed through Congress and is constitutional, Ben. They literally have the legislative branch to make laws so the government can do things? What?
That's the biggest thing the federal government does. Yeah.
Do you think Biden actually follows his own law?
Oh, God.
I think that Biden kind of makes up the rules as he goes. I don't think, unfortunately, he cares very much about the rules for being president. I think he just tries to do whatever he can do.
Who was the last president again, and how did he feel about the rule of law?
And then he hopes that nobody stops him, which is not a very good way of being president. And that's why the founders were really smart. The founders created a system where there are people who can stop you if you break the rules.
Snarlbarks with 100 bits says, why does this video exist? Legitimately, why? Does he think a bunch of children agreeing with him will change public opinion about him? Why is this happening? From what I can tell, it's a sponsored content video from that children's conservative book thing. So, this is basically an ad.
Which is really important.
Do you think China purposefully caused a pandemic?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
I think that China purposefully covered up a pandemic. It probably started in a laboratory in China, and then it got released, and then they pretended that it was not their fault, and they didn't know what was going on, and they lied a lot, and then it got out and killed a lot of people.
Do you think the Supreme Court will overturn Roe versus Wade?
Oh, good. They're teaching their kids about fucking abortion, too, because kids are clearly capable of having these very complicated moral discussions at the age of, like, 5 or however old these kids are. Hydrate.
Wow. I think the Supreme Court will not overturn Roe versus Wade, unfortunately. I have a feeling that the Supreme Court is going to change the rules of Roe versus
Toeen says, you kids are so lucky to grow up in Florida until climate change drowns them. Then if the next COVID strain that gestates because of Ron DeSantis is a genocidal ass clown doesn't get them first. Nick says, shut the fuck up, Ben. Regardless of who's responsible for the pandemic, your party fucking exacerbated it, you piece of unadulterated shit. True.
versus Wade, but that doesn't mean they're going to throw it out completely. They're going to do what they always do, and they're going to be confusing about it.
Who is your favorite Democrat?
Wow, that is a difficult question.
I know, right?
A Democrat who's alive?
We finally
Right now, Joe Manchin, Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia is my current favorite Democrat. He's preventing Joe Biden from doing a lot of bad things.
Do you think we can have a stable government again?
I mean, I think that the government is still pretty stable, is the truth. We should be grateful to live in a country where the government is this stable. The truth is that if you look at history and if you look at all other countries, there are a lot of countries that really don't have a stable government, and it's really difficult. We're so lucky to live in this country, we really are. So as much as we have problems here in the United States, this is still a fabulous, fabulous country, and we should all really be grateful to live here. And that I guess is the thing that I would say to all you guys. You're gonna live like for a super long time, and you're gonna get to see all sorts of amazing things happen in the country. And the most important thing to remember is the harder you work, the better your life is going to be. The better the decisions you make, the more responsible.
I wonder who amongst these kids are gonna grow up to be actual neo-Nazis, and which kids are going to grow up to be hardcore leftists. Because I feel like the kind of parenting that gets you into a situation where you are chosen to sit and talk with Ben Shapiro is going to result in one of two very extreme political viewpoints when you grow up. There's at least one tanky in there. I guarantee it. Goddamn tankies. Anti-Pretzel says, you are lucky, Ben. Other countries like China, you'd probably vanish after you first criticize after your first criticism of the country's leader. Sky Come Up Fallen says, Ben, F off with the patriogasm.
Responsible you are, the more you help other people, the better your life is going to be. In this country, which is the best country in the world, if you make great decisions, you're going to have an unbelievably awesome life. You're going to make a huge difference in the world, and you can make the world a better place.
Thank you, Mr. Shapiro. And what's that thing on your head?
Oh, good question. Okay, so this is a yarmulke.
Oh, God.
Jews and Christians believe in the same God. We just have
So do Muslims. Fun fact.
slightly different beliefs about the kind of stuff that we have to do that God says that we have to do. So
Also Jesus, which is a pretty big sticking point for Christians, believe it or not.
what this means is that Orthodox Jews who keep a lot of commandments, we keep this on our head, right? In the Bible, when it talks about the Israelites, that's the Jews. So the Jews eventually, now we're their descendants. So we keep the yarmulke on our head to remind us that God is around us at all times, so we should make good decisions, basically. Alrighty, guys. Well, you can go enjoy your day now, because it's all over. So you're good. Thank you, guys. It's great to meet all of you.
One of the parents got mad about him talking about being Jewish. No way. I don't believe that. You'd have to give me a source on that one.
Do you want to take some of these kids home?
I have 3 of my own, so more children in my house. No, they've got parents. I feel like their parents should keep them.
Which is
Also, I would have to expand my child torture basement, and I just don't have the money right now. I'm waiting for the Gina Carano movie to come out.
Tougher, talking to kids about government or explaining government to Democrats?
Oh, by far, it's more difficult to explain government to Democrats because they're so certain about the things that they know, and those things are just wrong.
Glass houses, Ben. Glass houses.
Whereas kids just don't know things, and you can actually explain them to them.
Are you more or less hopeful?
It's way easier talking to people who can't rebut any of the things I'm saying. It's weird. It's almost like when I talk to adults who actually know things about the real world, they consistently bring up things that contradict the things I'm trying to explain to them. How weird.
Hopeful for the future?
I'm way more hopeful for the future than before I did this, because those kids are smarter than the people that we have in Congress currently.
I only came today because I thought Knowles was gonna be here.
So that's Ben Shapiro talking to kids in order to get money to sell those shitty books. So fun.